This is Ask a Couples Counsellor, a show that answers all the relationship questions you're too afraid to ask. On the show, we'll take your questions and give you the tools you need to build trust and intimacy with your partner. I'm your host, Neha Kapoor. I'm a registered clinical counsellor and psychotherapist, and I'm really passionate about helping couples navigate the challenges that we all go through. Because after all, every relationship encounters some stormy weather now and then. Hello and welcome to today's episode. On the show today, we're speaking about the honeymoon phase, that special period of time when everything feels great at the start of a new relationship. In today's episode, we're going to break it all down. You'll hear why there's a honeymoon phase. We'll talk about what to do when a relationship gets stale, and I'll share a few tips on how to spice things up in your relationship. All right, let's get into our first question. So, why is there a honeymoon phase? This question comes from Brittany in Sydney. I think it's a great question, Brittany. Why is there a honeymoon phase? What does the honeymoon phase feel like? So the honeymoon phase refers to an early stage of a romantic relationship where everything feels exciting, new, and filled with passion. It's typically characterized by intense emotions and infatuation and a sense of euphoria, that falling in love feeling. During this phase, couples often experience this heightened level of attraction to each other, and there's a strong desire to spend as much time together as possible. All right, so let's talk about why this happens. Why does the honeymoon phase happen? The honeymoon phase occurs primarily due to a combination of both psychological and physiological factors that contribute to this intense emotions experienced in the early stages of a romantic relationship. So basically what happens is that there's chemical changes in the brain during the initial stages of a romantic relationship, and the brain releases neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. And I'll tell you a little bit about these chemicals because they're associated with the feelings of pleasure, reward, and bonding. So those are the pleasure centers of the brain, and the surge in these neurotransmitters then contributes to that heightened sense of emotions and euphoria characterized by the honeymoon phase. All right, so the other thing that happens is the idealizing of your partner. So in the early stages of a relationship, individuals will often idealize their partners. They tend to focus on the positive aspects and attributes, overlooking the potential flaws or imperfections of their partner. And during this idealization phase, it creates a very positive perception of your relationship. There's new experiences, there's a novelty at play, which has a significant role in the honeymoon phase. Everything about the relationship is fresh and exciting, from getting to know each other's likes and dislikes to discovering shared interests. The novelty contributes to your overall sense of enthusiasm and passion in the relationship. And of course, there's a physical attraction and desire part in the honeymoon phases. There's strong physical attraction and desire, which are the common kind of phases of the honeymoon period. And the novelty of physical intimacy, combined with the release of the hormones such as testosterone and estrogen, contribute to the intense passion that you experience in the early stages of the relationship. Let's get into our next question for today's episode. So the next question is, when a relationship becomes stale, how do you reignite it? This question has been submitted by Jack from Cronulla. I think that's a great question, Jack. So why does this happen? Why does a relationship become stale and how do you reignite it? So let's talk about why this happens first. So relationships can become stale or lose some of their initial excitement and novelty for so many reasons. But let's talk about some of the factors that contribute to this feeling of stagnancy or staleness over time in a relationship. The first and the foremost thing that happens is a lack of communication. So as we all know, communication is a very essential part of a relationship. And when communication decreases or becomes routine, partners can feel that there's a less sense of connectedness to the other. And it's very, very important for us to continue sharing thoughts and feelings and experiences to maintain that sense of closeness. And another thing that happens when your relationship goes stale is routine and predictability. That's the death of everything, isn't it? When you engage in the same activities or routines without introducing new elements, it can lead to boredom. So breaking out of predictable patterns and trying new things can inject freshness into a relationship. And another thing that why your relationship may become stale or stagnant over time is because couples neglect emotional intimacy. So what happens over a period of time is that couples stop expressing affection, appreciation, or vulnerability with each other. And this emotional disconnect can contribute to this sense of staleness, taking each other for granted, because in long-term relationship, there's a risk of always taking the other partner for granted. Right? So partners stop expressing gratitude, they stop showing appreciation for one another, which leads to a decline in overall relationship satisfaction. And of course, as we spoke about before, the lack of novelty. So remember, you started in the honeymoon phase with all the novelty in the relationship. Now, the novelty that characterizes the early stages of your relationship can diminish over a period of time. So introducing new experiences and activities or surprises helps to maintain that sense of excitement and adventure that you need in your long-term committed relationship. Another thing why a relationship may become stale over a period of time is because of unresolved issues. So unresolved conflicts or lingering issues can create tensions, and they can contribute to you feeling a sense of staleness. So addressing and resolving problems is so crucial for maintaining a healthy dynamic in a relationship. And it contributes to individual growth as well. So when individuals grow and change over time, and if partners don't adapt to these changes or support the other in their personal growth, it can lead to a sense of disconnect in the relationship. So it's really important that we're supporting each other in these phases of life because they're so important. The other thing that happens over a period of time in a partnership is the lack of shared goals. So when shared goals and aspirations aren't there in a relationship, they don't really strengthen the relationship. So if partners drift apart in terms of their life goals, it may lead to a sense of stagnation. And of course, how could we avoid external stresses? So external stresses such as your work pressures, financial challenges, or family issues, they can take a toll on your relationship. And if partners don't effectively manage stress together, it can contribute to that sense of staleness. And of course, the most important thing is the loss of intimacy. I have lots of couples that come in and talk about this very, very important part, which is the loss of intimacy over a period of time, both physical and emotional intimacy, which are very vital components of a relationship. And I say if you don't have these two, it's very difficult to have a long-term committed partnership. If intimacy wanes, it can lead to a feeling of distance and staleness. So reconnecting on both levels is very important for revitalizing your relationship. So our last question for the day is, how can both partners bring spice to the bedroom? That's a great question. This question comes from Adam in Sydney. So why is it important, firstly, to try new or different things in the bedroom? Is it that important? Let's talk about that. Yes, I think it's totally, very, very important. Trying new or different things in the bedroom can be important for several reasons in romantic relationships. So let's look at what some of those reasons might be, and let's explore experimenting sexually, how that can be beneficial for your relationship. So what it does is exploring sexually can enhance your intimacy. So trying new things in the bedroom can foster a deep level of intimacy between partners because it allows the couple to connect on a more profound and personal level, building trust and emotional closeness. And the other thing that it does is it keeps your relationship exciting. So novelty and variety contributes to excitement. As we spoke about in the honeymoon phase, novelty is the excitement that happens in the honeymoon phase. So to keep that alive, that novelty alive, you need variety, which contributes to your excitement and prevent the sexual aspect of the relationship from becoming routine or predictable. So introducing new elements can reignite that passion and maintain that sense of thrill. And I won't mention what those new things could be. I'd like you to use your imagination. The other thing that you could do is boost communication. So discussing and exploring new sexual experiences requires open communication between partners. And the communication can strengthen your overall bond and improve the ability to express desire and preferences in the bedroom. promoting sexual satisfaction. So trying new things in the bedroom allows you to discover what brings the other pleasure and satisfaction. It's very important to bring pleasure and satisfaction to your partner, because this exploration can lead to a deeper understanding of each other's desires, and it can contribute to your overall sexual fulfillment as well. Encouraging creativity. I tell my couples all the time, you need to get creative. Sexual exploration encourages creativity and imagination. And it can involve trying different positions, role-playing, incorporating new fantasies, fostering a sense of playfulness and creativity in your relationship. Be playful. Do something that's fun, and you don't always have to be serious and doing the same thing in the bedroom. And prevent sexual boredom. That's very important, because over a period of time, couples may experience sexual boredom if they just stick to the same routines, same room, same position, same thing. So introducing variety, that kind of helps combat that monotony. It keeps your sexual relationship and the sexual dynamic quite engaged. So it's very important that you experience that in a relationship. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was to build confidence. So trying new things in the bedroom can boost your self-confidence and boost positivity, overall positivity in the relationship. So when partners are accepting and supportive of each other's desires, be supportive. Don't shut the other person out. Be supportive of their desires. This can create a positive environment that enhances your self-esteem. And also adapting to changing desires. Look, your sexual preferences and desires can evolve over a period of time. So being open to trying new things allows couples to adapt to these changes and explore together, ensuring that both partners feel valued and understood. So I would say that it's really important that exploration in the bedroom should be consensual, and you should have open communication and mutual respect with each other, and both partners should feel comfortable in expressing their boundaries and desires so that they're ensuring the experiences are positive and enjoyable for both of them. Well, that's it for today, and I'll catch you next time. You've been listening to Ask a Couples Counselor, a show that answers all the relationship questions you're too afraid to ask. This show is produced by Novo Empower Counselling. We provide a range of services, including couples counselling, individual counselling, and online counselling. To find out more, visit our website novoempowercounselling.com.au. This show was produced with strategy and production support from Wavelength Creative. To make sure you don't miss an episode of Ask a Couples Counselor, be sure to subscribe to or follow the show in your podcast app. And while you're there, I'd love it if you could leave me a 5-star review. It really helps others find the show. I'm your host, Neha Kapoor, and I'll see you in the next episode.